God King. When someone said, "Who would want you to go to Israel? What? Why do they want to hear you speak?" And people have this whatever. What are you talking about? You can't live off of that. Or who cares about what you have to say or think, Eric? And I say, I do. I'm a really cool guy. I'm an awesome. When you kill someone, you coerce someone, bully someone, steal from someone, it's all forms of theft. So stop stealing from people. If you're doing any of these bad things, it's all going to come back to you as a repercussion. So be selfless. Be nice to each other. Love one another, of course. But first, you have to love yourself. And you can do that by starting with a smoothie in the morning, the afternoon, and lunch. I'm an awesome person. And that's what matters. And so are you. So just remember, when people critique you, belittle you, naysay, hate on you, take it as a compliment and ignore it selflessly. Just let it go, right? Don't let it bum you out or tear you apart, bring you down, because ultimately they are your challenge for this moment. So by ignoring them, you literally have it bounce back on them, and it's like a glitch that happens. When you tell the people what I just told you about Mount Moringa. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's like Smoothies for the Kings heaven. Cheers to a healthy future. Again, Check me out at thekingmoringa.com if you want to check out all of our newsletters. We've got tens of thousands of new followers. I love it. Hundreds of thousands overall. Reaching over 112 million per year. Abobola. Welcome everybody. It is your friend Earthman Erik.Plott. I'm here today to share another fruit smoothie video. This is probably how many hundreds of videos have I done on these smoothies, but this is one of my favorite. I know a lot of people, they say, Erik, what can I take, for energy and things like that, good for the brain. As I said before, our main things our body needs, our brain, is potassium, of course, but also boron, B12, iron, copper, okay? And so a good source of that, of course, is Moringa. You get all that. Check out my Divine 12 chart video. I talk more exclusively about that. Of course, we've added Moringa. Check out Moringa K and different produce like that. I'm working on a stranded jungle video, so I thought I'd add this as a little bit of a side project, as I like to get my creative flow going. And I'm not an advocate of drugs or anything like that. A few key points to mention, as I had in my last smoothie video where you saw I had tons of bananas. And I showed you how it was like my morning coffee. I had all those bananas I juiced, and kind of got a lot of hate on that one. I don't know why, but it reached over 4,000 people, which is kind of cool off the first day or whatever. So someone had brought up a couple different things along with some negative static, but set aside from that, one of the things was, Erik, how can I afford all that? You talk about going vegan. How can you afford this many bananas and, even like the pineapple and things like that, which I'm going to cut this up. One of my favorite foods is a mango. And, I had the video where I showed some of that in Belize. Check out the Moringa honey. This is vegan friendly, by the way. I have a video on that. Amazing honey, so I like a little bit of that sweetness. I'm not a huge advocate of adding sugar to things, but this is like a kick butt vitamin C energizer for your cells. This can help kill cancer. There's so many interesting things about kiwi and the vitamin C, the minerals. So I've got some of these chopped up. I'm kind of going to do a smaller smoothie version. For the sake of this video, I don't want to make a huge production on it, but we got like 4 kiwis here. So to answer that person's question, look at consuming animal products. It's nearly the same price. I understand that, like for instance, this is a pepperoni, meatless, meat lovers pepperoni pizza. I'm not saying it's healthy necessarily per se, but it's much healthier than consuming pepperoni or any form of pork. And I work with thousands upon thousands of clientele, reach millions of people per year. And I'm honored that people take interest in that. I'll be going to Israel to speak on this with real big name vegan community doctors, people like Esselstyn, Campbell, different doctors that I'll be able to meet, and have a whole entree and itinerary for Israel. I was going to go this December, but have plans on actually going back to Belize after I make this documentary, Stranded Jungle, hashtag Stranded Jungle, one word, and I'm working on just really one of the greatest experiences of my life, so I'm sharing that with the world in a very, avant-garde, artisan type of manner, and so I hope you do check that out and enjoy it. There's a fan page called Stranded Jungle, so there's that. And so I'm moving the Israel trip, and if anyone's interested in potentially going with me that's in the Moringa tribe, holler at me. Maybe we can work something out. It would be really cool to do. One thing I like also is on the mangoes, when you peel it, just about anything actually, like avocados, I like to rub those minerals and that goodness all over my skin. I did this in the jungle. You may have seen the sneak previews in the trailers where I do this with the aloe vera, which is a prehistoric, anti-aging and youthing type of a plant. I like to really get it into my cells. So that is actually kind of a form of Ayurvedic medicine, traditionally. You are what you eat, so consume luxury, but also wear it. I put it in my hair. So, stuff like that. And that feeds the cells externally, and then while you're consuming it internally. So there's benefits. That's a juicy mango, which there's lots of that in Belize. Again, ask me about a retreat getaway to Belize. You deserve it. You deserve that experience. See that? Yes, I feed my cells good stuff for my body. I have no plex about that. I feel it's really good. Maybe goofy, but you know, my skin feels invigorating. You may want to, you know, wash later. That's fine, because it will make you sticky. But I've done this with soursop, even durian. It's really rich and fatty. Anything that you feel is a superfood and really good for you, why not? Here I'm eating all this good food in front of you. Fruitarianism is the way. Check out my new buddy Hermes on my Facebook. There's two different Hermes. There's Devin Magby, and then there's this other guy named Hermes. He does fruitarian songs. And I remember I woke up one day and said, we are frugivores. Like, it dawned on me, like I knew my goal was to become 100% raw vegan. The most superior and strong creatures, specimens, humans, Homo sapiens, has been the vegan human beings. Like, they're phenomenal. They're just holy moly fantastic and phenomenal. So I'm gonna cut into this pineapple. Just gonna get started into it while I'm talking here. See, so we've got the mango. And so really, I mean, your health is your greatest wealth. You can't complain. You get to save animals. I saw that terrible clip of a police department, DEA or some sort, running over a raccoon and then turning around and running him back over. Things like that just really irritate me, and it's daunting on my conscience. And I realize this world is a matrix where, you know, they can say that's duality, but it's all intended to go through. And my movie's gonna talk more about that, more in depth. So that's, you know, something to consider. I'm not saying it's at all justifiable when you know, talk about, you know, not only that, the animal harming, but also just in general the consumption of animals. And like looking at how that spicy chicken sandwich is such a big deal, you know, things like that, or even KFC coming out with the vegan version. These are good alternatives to, you know, promoting all this death towards animals, but more so, you're killing yourself in this matrix when you consume things of lower vibration. These have angstroms, electrical energy. Yes, you can live off of it. And lower mind thinking people, they will, who are not educated or have the tools to understand or understand and overstand what, you know, this can do, the impact. The biggest animals, gorillas, horses, water buffalo, giraffe, elephant, they are plant eaters, right? And I don't even say eat a lot of greens, you know. I like some green salad sometimes, but I could wake up every day, have a cantaloupe, honeydew in my jungle, soursop, pineapple. I drink pineapple juice. Like, and what it did is allowed me to live longer. Like when I was stranded in the jungle, 3 days, no water, no food. And I actually found, you know, I had my moringa, and then I considered I'll just consume this moringa. So that's kind of the little sneak secret was to how I survived out in the wild like that, in the jungle, was I was consuming moringa. And there's a whole story to it, how I got saved by a local village woman to give me water. So like, it was so moist out in that rainforest, I felt like that I was just out there and breathing in that ether, that air that was like so jam-packed full of moisture and that that hydrogen water, you know, H2O. So, and by the way, don't let this just go to waste. This is all really good compost I threw out in our compost pile with our soil. Okay, and I don't really recommend, you know, you don't need to use too much of this because it's already really sweet, but it gives you that energy also that can, that sweetness that's so powerful. It's one of the best superfoods on the planet is honey. A lot of vegans will critique me, but we're the first people to sell vegan honey because the Mayan bees down in Belize, they don't have a queen bee. So get this, there's no queen bee, so therefore you're not just taking the distribution of the honey to harm any of the bees. They literally just make this production and leave it. So it's really kind of interesting. So yeah, and these bees, the guy I work with, they are pollinating from the moringa flowers. How awesome is that? So that's what we got so far. Now, there's a collection of vegan foods, as you know, I've promoted, like the Herbaceous Butcher in Minnesota. which they have steaks, cheeses like Gouda, all kinds of different variations, cruelty-free. Check this out. It's what we're all about, the MoringaQueen.com. Right now we're having a special at moringaheaven.ecrater.com. I'll leave a link in the description. We're making sales like crazy. Thank you so much for the support. You make this possible. You're promoting saving a lot of animals. You're promoting this message, which goes out to the whole Matrix demiurge, and we win. The good guy always wins. Remember, the heart is where the home vibrates. So Earth may be unnatural. It's the square cube. It's unnatural. But when you rearrange the lettering, the H over to the, before the E, it spells heart, because that is Mother Earth, Gaia, Sophia, the Black Sun, Lilith, going back to that heart center. And we'll have blogs on this site, which is TheKazweh.com. You'll see some of my music. I got my favorite guitar and things like that. My dream guitar. I can go down to the jungle now and live in peace and harmony and play my music for the rest of my life. And that's the other thing, is the discovery of living off the land. And you know, that it's kind of like a cheat code. If you knew that you can, I've been doing this for 8-9 years now, being plant-based. You know, if you can consume these things and live and thrive. I mean, I feel healthy. I'm happy. You know, I feel strong. Look at that. That's all plant-based muscle. I used to do, I did bodybuilding. I don't work out as much anymore, but I don't even need to. I find myself, people like, how much do you go to the gym, Eric? You see my profile picture, and that was just me a couple years ago. I've gotten even bigger. I've gotten stronger. I can lift more. My blood test results are even better. No, I don't advocate drug use at all. You know, alcohol or any of that stuff. If you want to do those things, you can do those things. You're a grown person. Just don't let it affect your life in this enslavement matrix that I call it, because you're going to have to go to work and, you know, provide for your family. However, if we all work together, we could do community gardens and things like that, and create vegan communities and have, you know, workshops and eat food like this. I got so many cool smoothie recipes that would blow your mind. Like, I don't even want to ruin it, because I have one special one that is just mind-boggling. It tastes incredible. Ask Coconut Claire, my mother. She'll tell you it's really impressive. My dad loves it whenever I make it. Everybody who's had it, they crave it and they want it. It's got your most nutritional tree on the planet. So it's got all your proteins, the omegas, 3, 6, and 9, B12, jam-packed with every nutrient your body needs from the best source of heirloom organic moringa. So I don't want to waste any more of y'all's time. I got walnuts and different things that are organic. I like to just sprinkle some. Oh, these are actually almonds this time. Okay. Well, I might as well just throw some of them in there. There's not too many that it'll be noticeable, just like the secret smoothie that I was telling you about. We got some chia seeds here, all, you know, organic. And you don't need to, that's the thing about, how can you afford this, Eric? Well, yeah, consuming that many bananas and this, that, and the other, you know, it lasts a while, and for 3 people, it's not bad. I think this is like the 5th banana I'm throwing in here. And anyone can afford, I mean, bananas, come on, man. Even in America, it's what, you know, 60 cents a pound, or however it equates. You know, and like that's all the remains. I mean, compared to a steak that's like $12 to $20, ribeye, sirloin, and all these other things, you can make plant-based foods like this. There's different, even companies, which, like with, for instance, ice cream. If you're having a struggle with ice cream, this is So Delicious dairy-free salted caramel cluster. And this one is one of my favorites. This is the one that's mine, actually, is oatmeal cookie. So delicious. And they taste incredible. And you don't eat as much, but you're full. Okay. Dr. Prager is one of the best vegan hamburgers. We already ate all of them. So then you got to ask yourself, what do you want? Almond milk? Or, you know, what have you? With, my mom's really big into Sprouts. I'm not too, I'll eat it. So we have, this is almond and cashew chocolate. And then this is the, you can make like strawberries. We did the strawberry bananas the last video. I may leave a link in the description because it was so controversial for some reason. So you just want to pour it out that much. Essentially, you got to consider in this smoothie, do I want to make it more like a yogurt? So like if you did, that's probably all you would use, is about not even a cup, a half a cup, quarter cup. So that would be for more of a, if I wanted to make this a yogurt and then put it in the freezer or keep it refrigerated. And then I love chocolate. You could put cacao. I suggest that. So there's different levels of health consciousness. I'm fully aware. While I'm in the States in certain locations, like if I'm in Tennessee or Missouri in particular, especially in the winter, you don't want to go depressed because, the sun's not out as much. You're not getting that vitamin D and the sun rays of the energy above. And if you watch plants inside, some of them grow. Moringas have a hard time because you don't have that sunlight. So it's the same concept. That's why we go to Belize. I mean, $200 to $300 round trip tickets. Sometimes they vary more in the summer. That's a heck of a deal. You get that medicinal energy, that fresh air, that oxygen. Breathe it in. Connect with the ether, the whole creator. It's all real. Then you don't get sick. These are real aspects. Walking around barefoot. I have a lot of videos to talk about that. This is pure spring water. Go to the springs. Go to findaspring.com and you can get straight up spring water that you can harvest, and it's pure. It's been tested and all this different stuff. It's funny. A lot of people will get on to me about these type of things. Say, oh my God, it's going to have bacteria, or it's going to make you sick, blah, blah, blah. But you have no problem going to the doctor, getting on medication, consuming GMO, the spicy chicken, the fast food, the junk, the smoothies, the smoking cigarettes and alcohol. You have different levels of unhealth consciousness, or actually decline and a junk consciousness, where your pineal gland becomes coated, so you can't spiritually see all these things. And I don't live at all in a reality of a fear-based mongering mentality. So you will see that I don't talk about chemtrails anymore, or GMO, or the fluoride in the water. If we know it's there consciously, that's your test that you created within your subconscious in this matrix demiurge. So now you have to say, do I want to feel miserable while I'm here? Because we're almost at the end. We're at home stretch. We're going home to the heart center. The good guy wins. I'm a living soul, and I'm going home. Remember that? So it's coming. The Great Reset, all that, however you want to look at it. Death is a way to live life, okay? But it doesn't mean just throw away your life and live a terrible existence while you're here. Make the right choices. Become, like I said, as is below becomes the above. So your reality is shaped around doing what is right, even when the world or whatever shadow reflections you create in this hemisphere, this dimension, no matter what challenges that you come across, you can ultimately overcome absolutely anything. You can create anything. Whatever you want, just let it go and let life be. Your higher inner black sun's subconscious, unconscious being is making all opportunities and doors perfectly work. But it's when we start to plan things and look into the future and how am I going to do that? Just like this video, I could be slaving away on it, but it's come together. I've done no work on it, and it's so perfect, and it's poetically artistical and amazing. And I'm so excited that it's come together, and it's just about complete, where it could have taken me months to put this together and really think, how do I want to do it? And it's like this deeper thing. Even writing the script for it was overnight process, automatically, like an automated thing. It just came to my head. I woke up in the middle of the night and I just was going full speed on the pen, writing the script, which you'll see in the movie. It's like I didn't even write it, but it was my physical self that wrote it. It was my subconscious, higher self, God beyond, that put it all together. And that's the most beautiful thing, because then now you go through the aspect of life where everything is serendipity. It's by chance that everything works out for a reason, right? You have all these words like, these phrases like, everything will work out, for a reason. I believe everything happens for a reason. There's an aspect of absolute real truth to these things. But we don't think that. And I'm not talking about The Secret or say I want a Lamborghini or some physical material thing, because see, your inner higher self is going to say, no, you don't need those things. And that's not how this all works. That's not going to make you happy. But then if you go down the right path, doing the right things all the time, you may end up with a Lamborghini and like, I didn't really care for it, but yeah, I've got it. Just like these shoes. I didn't do anything to get these shoes, but thank you, all the supporters. These are like one of my favorite shoes growing up, and someone supported that. And even now, like, I'll accept any gifts, but today everything I get is vegan. Like, I got a vegan guitar strap and just things like that. We can move to more plant-based things that no one has to harm. And I don't feel like my hard work, which is time is money, is not going to be contributed to something that is causing harm or suffering on this earth. And just like if you promote a brand name that promotes a big nation that's taking over an onslaught of smaller people who are more poor or indigenous, and you just choose to take their land away and their freedom, the test that you've created in this matrix demiurge is to overcome those things. See, so this is going really deep, And we have all these compromises and choices to make. And often the greatest choice is very simply a selfless and even a thoughtless choice. My greatest challenge to everyone, and I do it to myself, is actually not even a challenge because it defeats the purpose. This is the ironic thing. That the challenge, or dare, if you will, is to meditate, gaze at the sun, ground barefoot. That's one aspect of it. To get into the elements of the fire, wind, water, earth, gamma, ether, okay? And that black sun, which is everything we're standing on, this concave inner earth, agartha, however you want to look at it, inner heart, self, consciousness, is then becoming thoughtless. So erasing the ideology of your words, because words are vibrations, but actions that comes from the gut, to care, right? To just wake up, to change or do a switch in your life for the better. Is going to ultimately bless you. It comes from the gut and it starts at the heart. Then this vibration goes to the brain. And this is going to all be mentioned in my movie very succinctly, very simply put, matter of fact. And no matter what, at the end, when I see you in the flip side, you're going to say I was absolutely perfectly correct. I am perfect. You are perfect. We are beyond gods. Each one of us are just as important as the other. So it's like if I'm looking through a kaleidoscope, my reality of that kaleidoscope experience is going to be different than when I hand you over the kaleidoscope and you're looking through it and you've caught it at a different vibration or color or pattern. That's just like life. It's all these numbers and patterns that come together in a conscious form that comes from the sun above, and the aurora borealis is emitting all this light. There's a toroidal field in the center, Mount Meru, the Garden of End. So like even in the Bible, when it says the Garden of Eden's the beginning, it's another anagram. When you switch it around, it's the Garden of the End. So we're heading to the end, right? Which this whole wonder world, this dreamland we're in, is all caving in on itself. So I'm glad that I'm able to be kind of some sort of a prophet to that very simple message, which ultimately at the end would cause divine love, end all wars, and have complete serene peace worldwide, which again, this world matrix is all a stage of fake holographic reality. So if you can understand and overstand these concepts that you created, fear, guilt, shame, any of this stuff, you shouldn't even be wearing clothes, things like that. And I'm actually going to be like this in the movie. And what I mean by that is I learned when I was out in there that when I took my clothes off in full naked form, my divine self, that the mosquitoes, and I would be out in the sun, they fled. They left me alone. So I was like, wow, when in your natural state, a lot of different things come your way. Not saying that life will be easy if you live in the jungle or off the land. You'll have just as many threats of surviving out there, but you'll always be guided when connected that way. You're going to the home center, back to Eden, going and living off the land, being in nature. So I fully advocate that. Even if I'm 1% or nobody backs it up, this is what I stand for today, full-heartedly, being thoughtless and also being selfless, but at the same time, loving thyself so much that we can help others that are either, you have people that come in your matrix, they're either going to guide you or they're going to be your enemy or your challenge, the adversary. And again, it's all part of your brain. Satan, the adversary, Saturnalia, it's a part of the brain. Luna, that's part of the brain. You're wanting sex, money, materialism. Okay, these are things that your brain is consciously having to, challenge, or like a tug of war. And your selfless pineal gland, your spirit gland, is saying you don't need anything. You just need air, water, wind, earth, live off the land, this food here, okay? So that's what I'm gonna do. Because this is gonna make me feel good, feel vibrant. I'm gonna stay healthy. It's not about staying healthy longer, it's about the story, it's about your experience. This is a dumping ground for all the bad things or things that you hate about within yourself. To overcome these experiences, these painstaking suffering, is to leave the pain. By suffering, the pain is leaving the body. And you become stronger each time. Me going through the jungle 3 days, no water or food, and sleeping on a hardwood floor with a little sleeping bag with no pillow, it made me so much stronger, stronger-willed, more disciplined. And I feel like a Viking king or a super, hybrid version of myself. All those mosquitoes biting me and the ants that have bit me in the past, going to the beach and things like that, has built my immune system up so much that I come here and these little gnats or these other bugs, they don't even bother me. I have thick skin, all that melanin from the sun. It's just endless, y'all. It's endless what you can do. I better put this guy on before it starts. I kind of like to marinate it anyway. All those juices are kind of settling before we start to grind it up in the Vitamix. The next step is my secret weapon I love, ice. And I actually put Moringa oil and a little bit of Moringa powder in the ice, and you can use it on your skin for skin beautification tricks. So I'm full of all kinds of tricks. If you personally message me and things like that, you get support in that kind of like a health coach manner. But you get a lot of secret tips of mine one-on-one that when you purchase from me, especially, you know, in this matrix, I do have to make a living or pay these bills in the meantime. And but you know, it's not become my center focal point as much anymore. And by pushing it away, I actually attract it in. By making this video creatively, I already know that it's going to reach the entire universe, the whole world. As soon as it goes out, that will be its virality, and everything will copycat it in a sense. And that's what there's a little squirrel, Decepticons. Hey, little buddy. That's what these Decepticons, soulless being, archons, artificial intelligent beings, they are. So everybody is. Even I was artificial intelligent. I was living day to day what I was educated I knew, and everyone was saying the same. We all had the same superstitions, just different ways of talking about it, or belief systems. But when you let it go, and whatever you experienced, that was the true reality that you were getting in touch with from the inner heart center, and then the brain, the pineal gland. And then the ultimate thing is having the guts at the end to take the actions that are contrary to what we have been taught, trained, socially engineered, brainwashed, and groomed from birth on up in every experience, from high school, elementary school, preschool, and college, trade school, workforce, media, Hollywood acting studios, military, banking, financial, whatever branch of this matrix demiurge that is mathematically measured, Saturn, is actually more of a curse. It's going to bring in misery, depression, pain, anxiety. It will bring these things in. Like they say, money does not buy happiness. I found more happiness, true happiness and joy, you know, laughter, in the small things that were for free, that were out in nature, that were abundant. You know, and you say, Eric, I don't have the money for it. I can't afford this smoothie and all these different things. But get real. You buy these other things that you don't need, a phone and internet and then the clothes and the different, you know, cars, you know. And if you micromanage these things to be more like reasonable, realistic, logical, then you can afford a life for yourself. This is for you. You deserve the best, after all. You are beyond God. This is your reality. You made this existence possible. When your heart started beating, you opened your eyes, you could see everything. Otherwise, you would be blind. You wouldn't even know any of this existed, right? And, you know, then if that is the case, you know, a blind person has a different reality to face. So, to each their own in that regard. But like I said, in the end, we're all going back to that singularity. Okay, I got about 3. And that, ultimately, you could say there's no wrong way of doing it, right? You can't mess this up. Everything's going to be just fine. It all will work out. In the end, no matter what, there is no duality, good, bad, evil, angel, demon. It's all that you create as an experience in your head. This is all one singularity and polarity coming together, whether you like it or not. And that's 3, 6, 7 ice cubes. All right, heavenly 7. It's the first time Facebook made me E.G.Plott 7, by the way. That's so cool. And that's that 7, which is overcoming the hexagram or the Metatron, the flower of life in this existence. It's kind of neat. Let's see if I can pan over here now. I hope this works on this tray I have it on. I may be able to stretch this onto the table so you can kind of see the action. Let's see. All right. You can kind of see it. It's a bit of a far stretch, which everything I'm saying today is a bit of a far stretch when you think about it. And I understand that, but like I said, the beauty of it is I get criticized all the time. I get hate mail, I get death threats, and you know, I love it because it's a matter of who I'm becoming today, that I enjoy, that I love, and it's when you get to that point, you don't care what people think, because it's only your artificial intelligent archons that you're creating in your head that care. So when you come to from this perspective, you'll begin to see that it doesn't matter what others think of you, because that's only your inner self telling you those things. You're not ugly. There is no such thing as ugly. Even if you say, you're fat or something like this, you're not. It doesn't matter. What are you judging it off of? I'm not saying be a gluttonous and whatever, but take the time. Everything, all the answers, they lie within your own self. That's that self-awareness. And everything, in other words, is taken care of within the subconscious. So yes, allow that energy in, feel it. Embrace that energy, that power that's within your heart, vibrating out and in, okay? Visualize your desires and what you want. And sometimes you may not know what you want exactly. I've been there a lot of times. But as soon as you let it all go, recognize and remember that feeling. Never forget it. Let it go. Then you will have true inner, divine, serene peace that you never knew you had. And you will experience serendipity after serendipity, serendipities galore. And you'll say, this is awesome. And it'll feel amazing. Have you ever given it a full chance? Turn on that switch today. That was my dancey, my smoothie dance for you, Rebecca. She said something about how she loved my smoothie, my dancing I used to do with the smoothies. Oh my gosh, I just licked the side of that. This is incredible, you guys. Holy cow. This is one of my best smoothies ever. I've made hundreds and thousands of smoothies. This did it. Oh my gosh, I gotta leave you guys now. Okay, I was just gonna do a little something. I was going to just drink this for you, maybe for the cheers to 2020 New Vision, 12/21/2019 coming up, baby. We got less than 29 days, 28 days. Till the 333 Great Reset. Great Plasma event. Oh my gosh, I had cut this one kiwi. Let me throw this guy in. That was the 5th kiwi. Let's throw him in there, and a little bit more ice it needs. Okay. And normally, like with melons, that's one thing I'll say. You want melons to stick with melons. You like if you're doing watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew, you could probably mix those. Me personally, I've mixed everything up from every which way, an angle you can think of. So it doesn't bother me, but your stomach is another issue. You don't want to mix acidic things like you wouldn't mix tomato with a melon, obviously. And I put very few greens normally in smoothies, but in this case, I'm doing all fruits because I feel that's where I get the most energy. I feel incredible. Jam-packed. And then yeah, I will add moringa. I may do moringa veggie caps as well, which you can order from us. We got the best. We literally rank #1 for moringa. We got soursops. We got different superfoods, and I can't wait to show you my movie. We're doing a lot of cool things. Israel. I'll be filming a production for that. If there's anyone out there that wants to be my wife, there's potential to be on the an American TV show. Text me about that. It'll be for fun. And I like this smoothie so much, I give this a 10 out of 10 mason jar amount. I'm going to drink this whole thing. And yes, see, you're going to get all your protein, all your potassium, all your manganese, your magnesium. Oh my gosh, that's so good. This is like smoothies for the kings, heaven. So good. You're going to get all 98 essential nutrients, essential amino acids. 8 out of 8 of the essential amino acids. 18 of the 20 amino acids found in Moringa here. 25 times the iron of spinach. You got B12. You have omega 3, 6, and 9, as we said earlier. Barium, strontium, B12, iron. You know, this is full of life, carbon, because of the plant. Zeatin. It's got 4 times more chlorophyll than wheatgrass, so it's gonna give you that energy, you know, to be progressive, get stuff done, or just step back and live life. There is nothing you have to do or change as well. When I said that about change or making a switch, you can always progress, but ultimately you've already decided to make that decision. So you're just actually going down the right path, following your own heart center like you were intended, right? So that becomes your purpose, is literally, you know, if you go through pain, you got to cry, let that out. Cry, you know, that's what this life is about. It's a dumping ground for your mental, psychological pain, endurance, things like that. You know, it took me a long time to really figure all this out, to be honest with you. I mean, it's as simple as just be life, to be real, and that will make you be wise, right? And wisdom is we, you know, and you look at I-S, wise, so there's I, and then the E over here, so you say we, I, okay? And then dome. If you look at dome, that's the brain. We're under the dome, above. As is below becomes the above. It's like this apple. You slice it in half. There's a toroidal, you know, thing, and then we're going back to the whole center, the spinning hole that we came out of. We're going back to the hole. So that's all I'm going to say to you. It's been a really deep philosophical, but at the same time super health conscious video, which I want to start doing and offering things like that because it's selfless, it's divine, it's with love, kinder spirited things. You know, doesn't mean that I'm not going to hurt someone's feelings, or that, you know, what I say could not, you know, I don't know, challenge your dogma, bias, or belief system. It's none of my business what you go through or you believe. What matters most is what you are going through. I'm not on any agenda to shove something down someone's throat. That's why I don't call myself a vegan, okay? But I don't eat animals and things like that. I don't eat, you know, meat, dairy, and eggs. I don't call myself a vegan because I don't put myself with a label, a title, entitlement, or a word that man has made. I live life making decisions that make me feel good, because they're good for me, because I love myself. Will I help you make similar decisions if I have the resources, or the answers? I can only do like what I'm doing right now. I cannot save the world in this matrix, because Sophia, Mother Earth, the Black Sun, is in a sense killing herself, a suicide. So that is the agenda. That is the ultimate story. That is to the happy ending, right? Is to overcome that and defeat the dragon, which is this matrix demiurge, and go to the next life, this another dimension, this after life, Shambhala, Nirvana, Mount Meru, the Garden of Eden. We are all headed in there. You can't screw this up. We're all going in the right direction. She loves us so much, which is us, she is us, that there is no obligations and there is no requirements. But everything you do has some sort of a cause and effect. So if you harm an animal, that harm is going to be bestowed upon you throughout your life eventually. Okay? whatever it is, if you keep stealing from people. Ultimately, there's one sin that exists, whether you say rape, murder, stealing, you name it, lusting after a bunch of women or being naked and lustful, greedy, power-mongering, a bully. Okay, let's just put all these different deadly sins or bad things, right, that cause harm to others or cause suffering into one box, and I will just say this: there's only one sin. You could say coercion and paying taxes, people who do that, usury. Okay, all of them are a form of theft. All of them. When you rape someone, when you murder, you're stealing that person's life or that a loved one's companion, their child. You lie, you're committing theft. When you kill someone, you coerce someone, bully someone, steal from someone, it's all forms of theft. So stop stealing from people. If you're doing any of these bad things, it's all going to come back to you as a repercussion. So be selfless. Be nice to each other. Love one another, of course. But first, you have to love yourself. And you can do that by starting with a smoothie in the morning, the afternoon, and lunch. Cheers to a healthy future. Again, check me out at thekingmoringa.com if you want to check out all of our newsletters. We've got tens of thousands of new followers. I love it. Hundreds of thousands overall. Reaching over 112 million per year, which is phenomenally fantastic. And it's because I understand that we are the network, right? I am that superhero God king. When someone said, who would want you to go to Israel? Why do they want to hear you speak? And people have this whatever, what are you talking about? You can't live off of that. Or who cares about what you have to say or think, Erik? And I say, I do. I'm a really cool guy. I'm an awesome person. And that's what matters. And so are you. So just remember, when people critique you, belittle you, naysay, hate on you, take it as a compliment and ignore it selflessly. Just let it go, right? Don't let it bum you out or tear you apart, bring you down, because ultimately they are your challenge for this moment. So by ignoring them, you literally have it bounce back on them, and it's like a glitch that happens. When you tell the people what I just told you about Mount Meru, the afterlife, or that they are soulless, Archon, Decepticon, artificial intelligence, they start to have a glitch. It freaks them out. They don't know how to handle it. It just like hot wires their brain, and then you realize that everyone is like a form of these devils or these angels. Nothing is real here. And see, I'm going out on a limb for saying this because in the physical matrix demiurge, I will get critiqued for this, but we're all vibrational light that comes from the light above, the sun above, given by the sun is the son of God, from God the creator, which is the black sun. That's the two bulls, the Torah, right? The Taurus. And that's what all of it is. I know a lot about all this. I've figured out a lot about the numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the arithmetic. Pythagoras figured that out. And so it goes really deep. And I don't get into dogma, bias, belief systems at all. You could say, oh, you're, secular, humanitarian, occultist, or nature, whatever. No, these are words you put on me. I don't believe the earth is a spinning ball globe. But don't call me a flat earther. That does not make me a flat earther. You have no right to say that. All I am is an ultimate truth warrior X. I'm a beyond God. I am a black sun baby, which I'm headed to becoming a black sun man, a black sun king, a black sun God of our time. So that's really exciting for me. It's my own self-awareness. Whether you believe it or not merits me at all. None. I don't care. So please check out for my video. We have a really cool story that goes with it. I wrote it. I put it all together. I also am playing all the music on top of the narration. So it's all TheKazweh. It's straight up pure, raw, creative essence or talent that is, what I worked hard to put, my own fuel and intuitive nature to, as well as all the other people who have helped guide me that I put in my matrix that have allowed a connection of divine love, because there are people out there, when they say that people aren't real, in an aspect you choose the people who are real, they're also living souls. So if you're hearing my message right now, that's the beauty of this. You are a living soul with me. We are the superheroes, and we are going to work together to get to that heart center and become one singularity yet again, not divided in duality, but together in singularity. There's a major difference. And get ready for the plasma event. I'll see you in the flip side. Ababola, Ababola, Ababola. The black sun, baby. As is below becomes the above. And we all are cherishing every moment, every memory to overcome this matrix and go to the better living. The ascended are now. And the heart is where the home vibrates. So get ready. We got the last laugh.